Do you like jumping on a trampoline? We all do. It's fun, it's super easy, and when we are with our friends and family, we share a good laughter doing that. But if we jump on the ground, the result is often very opposite. When we are jumping on the trampoline, what happens is that we jump, we land, and then we bounce back again. And it goes back and forth like this. And that's what's so fun about it. But when we jump on the ground, it's simple. We jump, we land, and we stop there. The shock or the pressure that our jump produced was soaked in by the ground, so it stayed stable. It was on the same level. But on the trampoline, it did not absorb the shock. It just reacted to it, and that is why it sent us bouncing back. That's very fun, right? When you jump and when you bounce back, and all of those things. But imagine that you replaced the entire ground with a trampoline. Will you ever be able to walk? Will you ever be able to take steps forward with proper balance? No, because it would constantly shake, it would constantly be reactive. When you would take a step, it would go down. Then, if you would jump, then you would bounce, and it would not be good at all. It would not be easy to walk, even at all. So, the ground provides us a much safer space, a much better space to walk, to progress, and to do anything. But doing different things on trampoline is not possible. Like, you can't cook on a trampoline, everything will fall here and there. And you can't really dance on a trampoline also, because you won't be able to maintain that balance. So being on a trampoline is fun for some time, but if you were to live on a trampoline, it would not be fun at all. It would instead be a nightmare. And that's what we do with our life. In life, we are so reactive. We are so like a trampoline. Whenever something comes to us, we just respond to it, we just react to it, and we just bounce it off. We don't absorb it, we don't absorb the things that come to us and then respond accordingly. We are not like the ground, we are like the trampoline. And till the time we are like the trampoline, whenever we take a jump, whenever we do something new, it will bounce back, it will create instability, and that instability will never let us progress, and it will keep us stagnated at one point. If we try to walk on a trampoline, we'll fall again and again. We'll not be able to maintain our balance, and our progress will be so slow that it sometimes may not even be visible. That is why being a shock absorber, like a ground, like hard ground, is very important. Even when you jump on it, it's stable. Why? Because it absorbed the pressure and it absorbed the shock. In life, there are many situations that happen like this. When your boss says to you that you have not done very well, you have not done this, or that your report was very bad, whatever it is, you feel some pressure inside of you. You know there were some limitations from your side, but you cannot say that to your boss. That pressure is building up inside of you. But if you're like a trampoline, you'll just bounce that pressure off. You'll shout at somebody else, you'll retaliate in a bad way, and that will create even more problems for you. That will create even more anxiety, stress, and instability for you. So, that's not a very good approach. But instead, if you are like the ground, if you absorb the pressure, if you absorb the shock at that time, then you think over it and then you respond accordingly. Not react, but you respond accordingly. What's with an appropriate response? Maybe you send an email back to your boss clarifying why you couldn't do that. Then you don't retaliate, you don't spread out that negative energy, and you're able to control the situation. You're in control, and you're able to maintain your emotional and mental stability as well. That is how you'll be able to progress. The journey to success, or the journey to our dreams, is like walking and driving on winding mountain roads. It's not the easiest terrain. Even though the path is clear, the path is not easy. It's winding, it's like this. But if it was like a trampoline, we would not even be able to make a proper turn. If we were to walk and jump and hop here and there, we would fall off instead. We would fall down the cliff, and it will not be good at all. But as it is like a hard ground, we're able to drive and meander and climb successfully. Even if there are challenges, even if there are problems, we're able to deal with them with stability. So, We must build a stable ground for ourselves in our life for every situation instead of a reactive zone. We must be a shock absorber instead of a trampoline. And when that will happen, we'll build that hard ground, we'll build that foundation on which we are stable, on which we are able to grow and do much better. So now the question comes, how can we build the strong ground and a shock absorber in our lives instead of just being on that reactive zone in a trampoline? We need to understand ourselves, because once we know who we are, once we know what our foundational values and all of that are, we'll be able to lay out the foundation, we'll be able to lay out the groundwork properly. And once that groundwork, once that everything is set clear properly, then everything will be like that hard ground, and your building of success will be able to be built on that very easily. And you'll be able to climb the mountains very easily, you'll be able to do anything easily. And so the first step that comes up in building this groundwork is to understand what you stand for. What values do you stand for? What your main feelings are? What emotions do you feel? What emotions do you express? And what do you think makes a good life? What according to you is the best life for you? So like, when you have this basic clarity, when you know who you are as a person, you will be able to understand all that these things revolve around, because your family, your friends, your financial growth, your career, your passions, all of them surround one thing, and that is you. And if that basic you is not stable, if that basic you is not defined properly, it's of no use, because then all these other aspects will be unstable. If we keep focusing on each one separately, we'll focus on this, then the other will go haywire, then we'll focus on this, then the other will go into trouble. So the more closer we get to ourselves, the more closer we get to the core, the more we will be able to stabilize all these areas. And that begins by understanding who we are and what we stand for. Then the other thing is that you need to be clear on what you want to achieve, where do you want to go, what path do you want to take. So if it's a very short path, then maybe being on that reactive zone will be like okay for you, like you're just going from 0 meters to 10 meters, then balancing and doing that fun will be okay. But if you're going kilometers and kilometers ahead, and if your dream and vision is big, being on that reactive zone will not help you succeed, because you will keep falling into trouble, you will keep falling into anxiety, you will keep falling into stress. So having that clear action plan, having that clear understanding of where you want to go exactly, the destination, when you know that, the path will start appearing in front of you as you start taking action. So do that, keep this in mind, and start by building clarity and understanding who you are. These will lay the groundwork for the basic foundation, and then your building of life will now become very strong, because the foundation is good. And no matter how much you jump, no matter how much winds try to push you away, or no matter how much some other people try to push you away, how much some other people try to pull you and destabilize you, you know that the groundwork is there for you to rely upon. You know that there is that exact place in your heart, in your mind, that you know is defining everything around you. And you can always get back to that place, you can always remind yourself of that place, and you'll always be centered, you'll always be calm, and you will never be unstable. Even though there will be challenges, there will be difficulties, there will be chaos, you will be stable on the inside, because you know where you're going, and you know how the foundation of your ground is. Even if you're jumping up and down instead of walking, even if there is that kind of turbulence, you will not fall over, you'll not trip over. And even if you lose balance, you'll be able to stay back, you'll be able to stabilize yourself, because you have that stable ground. So keep these in mind, build that stable ground for yourself, and be that shock absorber. Absorb pressure, absorb the shocks that come to you, absorb the things that come to you, and instead of just reacting quickly, understand that, see how it fits to your life, and then respond if it is necessary or not. Understand this process, implement it, and then you will become very stable, and your building of success will start growing higher and higher, and you will climb mountains that are very high, and you will achieve much more success. So what I want you to do now is Start by taking action, and that is right below, and write this affirmative statement: I am the ground, I am not the trampoline. Write this statement down. And once you do, this will start playing in your mind. And as you use the steps I mentioned in this video, you will be able to lay that groundwork for yourself and start absorbing pressure much better. Do that, and also subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon, because every day I'm putting out new videos in which I share my thoughts, in which I share my understanding of how I am progressing, and that adds more positivity to your life and it helps you find more solutions, like this one in which I told that no matter what kind of situations you face, you will be able to absorb the pressure. No matter how much others try to destabilize you, you will not get destabilized. Why? Because your groundwork and your foundation is clear. So these kind of tips, these kind of videos will keep coming your way every day. So subscribe for that and hit the bell icon, and also like this video because it helps me grow and it helps you grow too, and share it with as many people as possible, so that more and more of us live on the ground, not on the trampoline, and are able to succeed in life. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember that if you want to go ahead in life, don't just rely on the temporary fun of being on trampolines. Rely on the solid ground. Rely on that solid area where you absorb pressures, where you absorb challenges and you grow through them.